When my father said it, the table erupted. At least the Air Force covers her rent. He didn't even glance my way. He just lifted his flute and let the laughter turn sharp and bright. I held my smile the way we hold pressure in a cockpit. Tight, controlled, pretending the warning light isn't blinking. Union Center glowed in gold and marble, a chandeliered aquarium of donors and executives. Gregory Hale was in his element, trading jokes like stock tips, turning my life into a punchline. My fingers rested on the leather of my dress sword's grip. The weight was familiar, honest. He couldn't see it from where he stood. He'd never learned to look past shine. He didn't know the uniform he mocked had zipped 3 body bags. He didn't know his company's code had gone dark over Kandahar. Across the room, the MC cleared his throat, waiting for the laughter to fade. It wouldn't, not on its own. I watched my father's mouth form my name with the careless confidence of a man who'd always been believed. I remembered another table, years ago, in a glass-walled house above San Francisco. I'd slid a manila envelope across the marble, enlistment papers, my decision stamped and final. He'd stared as if I'd dropped a stain on his brand. "If you walk out," he'd said, "don't come back asking for a cent." "I'm not asking," I'd told him, and left with one duffel and my mother's photo tucked against my ribs. Her smile in that picture was the only approval I ever kept. Tonight, the MC's microphone crackled. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "please welcome Brigadier General Mara Hale, United States Air Force." The room sealed itself shut. Laughter collapsed into a hush so fast I heard the orchestra stall mid-note. I stepped out of the shadows and the light caught my ribbons, the metals flashing like warning lights. My father finally turned. For a beat he looked through me, still hunting for the daughter he'd priced and dismissed. Then his fingers failed. The flute slipped, struck marble, and shattered into glittering fragments. The sound wasn't loud, but it carried. General Whitaker met me halfway, his grip firm, his face calm. "Glad you made it, General Hale," he said, loud enough for nearby ears to register. Cameras swung. Phones rose. My father's smile stayed on, suddenly too tight. I should have felt triumph. Instead, I tasted Afghanistan again. Dust, jet fuel, and the moment our drone feed went black. The crash burned on the horizon. At the wreckage, Staff Sergeant Lucas Mendez was already dead. 2 more men followed before the week was out. The error log pointed to Atlas's control update, a cost-saving patch. When I filed my report, it vanished within 48 hours, wiped clean as if those lives were a typo. That was when Owen Park found me. He'd been an Atlas engineer once, my father's golden boy, and guilt had hollowed him out. 3 weeks ago, he slid a flash drive across a Pentagon-adjacent coffee table. "Your mother kept copies," he whispered, "and your father signed off." Now the drive sat in the inner pocket of my jacket, warm against my ribs. So did my mother's last note, ink faded but steady. "Choose truth over comfort." I exhaled, stepped to the podium, and watched the projector screen behind me like a closed eye. "Progress," I said into the mic, "isn't a slogan, it's a promise." My voice didn't shake. I felt my mother's note like a hand between my shoulder blades. Behind me, the projector blinked awake. I nodded once to the AV tech, Owen's contact. The gala's deck vanished. A maintenance log filled the screen, lines of code annotated in my mother's script, then the approval page, G. Hale, initialed in the corner. A murmur swelled, then broke into silence. My father lurched toward the stage as if he could shove the image back into darkness. General Whitaker stepped in, calm as a latch. "Mr. Hale, sit down." I didn't look at my father. I spoke to the room. I named Lucas Mendez. I named the other 2. I said, "Cost saving the way you say, body count." Phones recorded, faces drained. The brand he'd polished cracked in real time. Afterward, in a corridor that smelled of perfume and panic, my father caught my sleeve. His eyes were wet and furious. "You could have handled this privately." "I tried," I said. "You deleted it." 3 weeks later, under Congress's white lights, Owen testified. The audit trail held. Atlas lost the contract. A criminal case opened. My father didn't call me again. On a cold morning at Arlington, I placed my mother's photo beside her headstone and tucked the flash drive into the pocket of my dress blues, finally lightened of secrets. The Evelyn Hale Scholarship launched that afternoon, her name restored, funding engineering dreams for military kids. That night, I slept without bracing for impact.